I have my watercolor out and ready because I'm going to be showing you how to do that part, but I don't want you to do that part right now. I want you to do the watercolor part later. So right now you're just going to be doing the crayon part with me. I ask that you get a pencil out because we're going to do some outlining with the pencil, and then we'll go back in with the crayon where it's darker. So pick any side. I'm going to just flip it over and put my name at the bottom so I know which one is mine with my pencil. Just like this. And then I want to flip it over. Okay, so first graders, for our watercolor project, we're going to be making colorful corn. So it'll be like the corn on the cob, but we're going to make it all sorts of different colors, okay? So we're going to make sort of like a fall corn on a cob. So first thing I want you to do is take your pencil, and I'm going to be pushing super lightly. If we push hard, you're going to see those pencil marks later when you're doing your watercolor, and we don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure you're going super, super light, and then we'll go back over those spots with a crayon. So we're going to make the cob part first, the whole part of the corn, okay? So I want to leave room for the top part of the corn. So I'm going to start about right here. And I'm just making like a rainbow shape. So, first graders, this was in your packet the first week of school, and we asked you to keep them. We've never asked for these back, so these should still be at home. I had a couple of questions just pop up. So I have this kind of frowny face or a rainbow, and I'm pushing really lightly, so that's why I'm putting it close to the screen so you can see. And now I'm going to go down, and it's going to kind of look like a carrot, but don't worry, we're going to fix that so it looks more like corn. So this is what it looks like so far. But I don't want to use my crayon yet because we're going to be filling in this whole spot with the little corn kernels. So I don't want to use a crayon yet. I just want to use a pencil and push really lightly. I left space up here for a reason, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit. Now, remember this is going to be recorded, so if this is too fast for you, you can always hit pause later. But right now I'm just going to be showing you the part with the crayon and the pencil. Okay? So now I want to draw the little corn kernels on here. So I want you to pay attention to how I'm doing that, because if we do them too small, our watercolor is going to bleed all over. The color is going to spread. So we want to make sure that we make them big enough. So I'm just going to draw little circles like this for the corn. And I'm just filling in all the spots. You see that? This part, it's okay to push a little bit harder, but you don't want to like stab your paper with it. But these parts I am going to go back over with my crayon. And I want to make sure that I'm getting the circles touching all the way. Okay, if you're just logging on, I just had a couple of students log on. You need your watercolor paper. It was in your packet from Packet Pickup. So if you don't have your packet, you need to come get that today so that you can watch this video on YouTube later. I'm going to have it posted on the schedule. But right now we're just taking our pencil and drawing the corn. Cadence, do you have a question? I see your hand is raised. Okay, so Cadence, I see your packet here in the classroom. So your watercolor paper is here at school. So you can choose to either stay on and watch, or because you don't have your packet, you can go back to this video after I upload it on the schedule, and then you can watch this after you have your packet with you, okay? But we have 2 other meetings after this. We have science, and then we have calendar, which has show and tell with it. All right, so I have my corn. And now I want to go back over these circles with my crayon, my black crayon. I don't want to go like this, though. I don't want to do that outline part. I just want to do all of the corn ones, all of the little kernels. And each of those little kernels, we're going to color a different color. So do you see right here I didn't put a circle? That's okay. I'm going to show you why that's okay. So for right now, we're just going over our pencil with our black crayon. So if you are at home and you are thinking, I can't find my packet anywhere, I'm just going to say the names of students that have packets here. I want you guys to keep doing your circles with your crayon. So if I call your name, that means I still have your packet and I want you to come get your packet today. Cadence, Samantha, Landon, Adrian, and Paulina. So if you're on right now and you're watching, I need you to come get your packet so you can do this project. So I'm going to keep going with my... Yes, Paulina?
I'm already doing this project.
Do you have your watercolor paper?
Yeah.
You must have an old one because I have your packet here. But that's okay. You can use your old one.
Okay.
So if you didn't do the leaf one last time where we used this watercolor paper, then you might have an extra piece of watercolor paper at home. So you can do this one. Yes?
I don't know what to do because it wouldn't let me on.
I don't know who's talking right now. Keela, do you have your packet with you?
Yes.
Do you have your watercolor paper?
Yes.
Okay. So, because we only have a little bit of time to do this, you can either join in now, or if you want to go back and watch the video after I put this on YouTube, you can watch then from the beginning, okay? But right now, I just drew the outline with a pencil super light of the corn. And then I took my black crayon and I filled in all these little circles for the corn kernels.
Miss Prince.
Yes.
I'm using my sister's watercolors.
Okay, that's okay. All right.
And her brushes.
Okay. So, this is just a reminder that when I do this part, you guys are just watching because I want you to make sure you do this part with a grown-up. Because I don't want your watercolor to get on your Chromebook. So you guys are just... Oh, my turn. You guys are just doing this part with me. Okay, these little spaces that don't have anything in them, you're going to color that in with your crayon, but don't color the circle in. You're only coloring the space in where there's no circle. You guys see that? I'm not coloring the circles in. I'm just coloring the space in between them. And I'm not pushing super hard. I'm just making sure that I fill in all those spots so I only have the circles left over. So remember, if this is too fast for you, you can always wait to watch it when it's on YouTube later. We just want to make sure that you guys see how to get it started. Okay, so I'm filling in all those parts that there's no circle. So now you should only see little white polka dots with all the spots filled in. And now I'm just going around the outside, and I'm just making that pencil line filled in with my crayon. Just a little bit. Just to kind of make sure it's all smooth, because see this bump right here? I'm just going to smooth it out. Okay, I am going to start the next part. So I'm going to be putting the top part of the corn right here. And I'm going to show you, they're just like little leaves. This is like the husk of the corn. So I'm going to start again with just a pencil to make sure I get my lines the way that I like them. And then that way I can even erase it if I need to. So I need to make sure I push super light. So you can make these however you want. I'm going to make mine a little wavy. Like that. Some of them might be smaller leaves. And some of them might be so long they go off the page. And I decided I didn't like this one, so I'm glad I used my pencil, and I can just erase that part. And I want this one to kind of go up. Because it's kind of like the troll hair, where it sticks straight up. Just like that. So I used my pencil, and now I want to go back over it with my crayon. And remember, I can push a little bit harder with my crayon. And if there's any little parts on here where your pencil line didn't match up with your crayon line, you can always get rid of it, just like that. So I had a couple of them that I didn't match them up very well. So I just erased the pencil. Okay. So, boys and girls, this next part, you guys are just watching. Unless you are still doing your part here with your crayon, or your part here with your crayon. Everything else, I want you guys to make sure you're just watching. Okay? So parents, I'm letting you know now that I'm telling them to not do the watercolor part now, because I don't want them to get the Chromebooks wet. But I do want them to be able to see how it's done. So, I'm going to get my watercolor. You guys are just watching. And I put paper towels underneath mine this time because I knew last time I got a little messy on the table. So I have my watercolor and my water. And I'm just going to start with this top part up here. And I'm just going to fill it in. And we did want to do this in like a rainbow kind of color. So I'm going to start with purple. And I'm going to do right in here. Remember, if you get your brush too wet, it kind of spills off of the paper. So you want to make sure that it's not too wet. So remember, this part you're just watching. And now I want to switch colors. I also like to have the paper here so I can kind of dry my brush off a little bit. And now I think I want some yellow. And now I think I want some blue. Ooh, the blue is pretty. So remember, you guys are just watching because I want you to make sure you have a parent with you or a grown-up to do this part so we don't get the Chromebooks wet. Okay, I need to get my brush clean so I don't mix my colors together. Alright, I'm going to do some orange now. Oop, and I got a little bit of blue in it, but that's okay. Just going to go right over the top and fix it up. So this one, because I accidentally got the color in it, I'm just going to change the color of it. Easy peasy. Now it's kind of like a teal. Okay. So now I'm going to go to a red. Red. It was a little too wet, so I just dried my brush off a little bit. Now I'm going to go to black. And the black, I don't want to show up too dark. I kind of want it to be like a gray. So I'm going to get it a little more wet. And then my last one I want to be green. So I need a little more water. And I want it to be green. So now I have the husk part of it all colored in. And now I want to go do all of the corn. So I'm going to show you how we can get the colors done without having to clean our brush every single time we color a different corn. I'm just going to choose different random ones. So just kind of here and there and there and there, and then I'll switch colors. So I'm going to start with my yellow, and I'm going to do a yellow here, yellow there, might need to get more paint, Yellow here. Yellow here. Yellow here. And I'm just choosing different ones. So now I want to switch colors. So now I can wash my brush, get a little bit of water off, and now I want to go with the green. So now I'm just going to do green. Now I think I want to do purple, my favorite. Have you guys noticed a color I haven't used yet? Go ahead and unmute if you can see a color up here I haven't used yet.
Red.
So I used red here. Brown. I used black here, but it looks a little gray. Okay, brown. Brown, you're right. I'm going to show you why I haven't used brown yet. When I'm all done with this part. I used blue. Yeah. Okay. Now I want to go into my blue. I'm going to choose some for blue.
How about orange?
I can do some orange, yeah. I thought I used orange. Oh, the orange is the one that got ruined up here where I turned it into teal. So I should make a couple of them orange. Oh yeah, that looks pretty. Thank you guys for being so respectful on here. So as I continue to do this, I want to remind you that I did not send home a reading log. So when you guys brought your packets back last night, and if you were thinking, oh no, I forgot to return the reading log, I didn't send one home. My brain completely slipped it. So it's okay. All right, now I want to do some red.
Hey, teacher?
Yes.
Can we also color in marker?
If you do not have your watercolor, then I am okay with you doing this with marker. If you don't have your watercolor, I'm okay with you doing this with marker. However, if you are choosing to do watercolor, I need you to wait until you do this with a grown-up, okay?
I don't have watercolors.
Who is talking right now? Kaya, you didn't get one in the beginning of the school year?
I did, and then it was in my backpack, and then it got lost.
Okay, so how about we send you a new one home if we can?
Okay.
Okay? All right. I'm going to have you go back on mute, Kaya. Thank you. I noticed I missed a little spot here with black, so I'm just going to take my crayon and go fill that spot in. Okay, so I remember you guys telling me, Miss Prince, you didn't use brown yet. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the brown. I'm going to do just the outside. And I'm making a border. That's what this is called, is a border. And I don't want to get it too wet because I want it to be really light. And I'm just making like a border here. And that's why I have you put the paper underneath. Because I'm getting it on the edge down here. Yes?
If you turn it over, it could look like dirt was on top of it and it fell on the ground.
Yeah. So now I gotta be really careful about this part so I don't get it on the other colors. And I'm gonna fill this in.
Miss Prue,
Yes.
can we color ours how we want?
The colors you choose? Yeah. Yeah, you guys can choose to do this whole part here. You can color it all in. Do you guys think I should finish the rest of it with the brown? Should I fill the rest of it in? I'm sorry, what? I really want you guys to I want you to try and find your watercolor and do it with watercolor, okay? Because that's what the paper was meant for. If you want to do a second one with marker, that's fine, and you can do it on a regular piece of paper. But because we have this paper that was, it was a special thing that we had bought for students, we want to make sure we're using it the right way. Okay. So I am just going to go and fill the rest of this in. And I'm making sure that I don't get the rainbow part of the corn all covered in brown. I'm almost done, and then I'm going to let it dry. I would love to see these come back to the school for the next packet pickup, which that's not going to be for another 2 weeks, so there's no packet pickup next week. What we gave you last night is stuff to do Monday and Tuesday next week, because next week we only have school Monday and Tuesday, and then the week after Thanksgiving. And then we will have packet pickup again after that. So, the next time we have packet pickup, I would love to have these come back so we can hang them in the classroom, and then I can send your guys' rainbow fish home. Okay, so my paper is starting to curl because it's wet. So that's okay. I'm going to leave it there and let it dry, but I'm all done with it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It looks really pretty. I'm glad I used all the colors. So this part is for you to do with a grown-up. Make sure that you are keeping it away from your Chromebook so that you don't get any water on it or any watercolor. And then let it dry flat, because if you lift it up and it's too wet, it might start to run down. So let it dry just like this. And now